Hi, welcome back to Making It with Minglet. Today we are going to be doing page 55, and this is what our page looks like. It's got some leaves on it in the background. It's got circles. It's got some like beehive shape in it. And this is one of my pieces that I did when I was downstairs. It says, "Be a Fruit Loop in a world full of Cheerios." And I started laughing about that because I don't know, something about Fruit Loops always makes me laugh. I did not have anything. The quote that I saw, this was on Pinterest, and it had the Cheerios kind of in a like a Cheerio color. So I went through my markers that I had up here, and I found something that will work okay. So let me color this in real quick before we glue it down and proceed any further. And I'm trying not to smear or smudge or blend together the black and the, this is actually called, let's see, pastel peach. I tried two different colors. The one that I thought from the color cap would be okay was really too dark, so I had to stay out of the brown families. And when I've got this one, I said, okay, this is the one. This is the one. It will do the trick. And it's getting very warm today, but it's not going to be as warm as it was yesterday. We were out most of the day. We had a car show in the morning that was Cars and Coffee, and we actually won an award. We got an award for our 57 Chevy for being the best classic, and that was kind of nice. I mean, we've gotten several awards over the years, but you know, it's always special when somebody recognizes, you know, that it's an original. It's not something that's been, you know, altered significantly. And we try to keep it, you know, we try to keep it to where it's not altered. There may come a time where we have to do something different, but the way it stands right now, we've not reached a point where we feel like that has to be done. Now, I'm going to look at this laid on here, and I'm thinking that I was thinking about coloring those in, but I'm looking at it and thinking it actually looks pretty good. That there, that, unless, let's test out some of these little green colors and see if I can pull that in. And I'm just going to test it on my piece of paper because that's kind of a greenish gray. That will work. So we'll put that there. And we also had, last night was opening night for our season of racing. And that's at Bowman Grading Stadium. If you have race fans in your house, it can be seen on Flow Racing. And our local Fox reporter that does some things on YouTube as well, he usually stands right behind us, so I always mess with him, pick with him a little bit when I see him. But he's been doing some interviews with some of the race car drivers. I think that's too dark, for sure too dark. No, it looked light, but it's not light enough. These are markers that my kids got for me last Christmas before last. There we go, that's good. And then for the between there, let's try, oh, fluorescent. Fluorescent yellow might be pretty. Yep, that worked. Alright, let me seal these things up. They lean in the bag, where the zipper is. It leaves enough room for them to kind of want to fall over. So you have to really be quick about getting the zipper back around. I could just see me trying to travel with them and getting them out on an airplane or in the car and having markers everywhere. So I have a little travel set that I carry that's not as extensive, a collection of colors. Alright, so we're going to cut these apart. Alright, we got B, A, we don't have Fruit Loops in our house anymore because they're not gluten-free. My kids loved them though. When they were little, they loved Fruit Loops. And I'd give them Cheerios and they'd say, no like, no like. They wanted the pretty colorful ones. And I noticed now they've got a little more choices in that. Alright, B-A, Loop Fruit. Now we better put it right, Fruit Loop. B-A needs to come down in a world full of Cheerios. And I don't think I'm going to cut that one apart. I think it's going to look good like it is. Now, one thing I think I might do is put a circle around that one, and maybe even this one. Where there is a circle there already. We'll glue these down first, and then we'll come back to that part. And I hear crows outside. They must be plotting some kind of mischievous adventure. When you hear one crow, you don't think nothing about it, but when you start hearing crows in the trees that are surrounding the trees in certain areas, you know that they're up to no good most of the time. They have a thing about the hawks, the red-tailed hawks. They're not very friendly to them, so if they try to expand or move to a different area, they will surround that area and they will make them miserable, and they are one of the most feared of the hawk. They will go in there and shoo their babies out of the nest. I mean, they'll make sure they get rid of them. So when I hear a lot of them yah-yahing back and forth, I always try to look and see what's going on that's got them in a tizzy. They succeeded to getting them out of our yard. We've been fortunate to not have the nest now for 3 years, so we're hoping that they'll never come back, at least while we're here. They moved down the street. and they already had a nest in the woods that they would go to in the heat of the summer, and I think they still do that, but they had another area that they would nest in, and they came back here for almost 7 years. They used that same nest, and they stay in the nest for so long that it's crazy. I mean, they're usually born in March, and they don't leave the nest till about July, August, something like that. So up until that point, Mom and Dad go out and get food for them, and